I'm in the mood for love, simply because you're near me. Hey there, hey! Hey there guys, welcome back to my channel. Shalita here. How's everybody doing? How you doing? So we are in the month of February. Clearly, as I said in my opener, my show opener, we're in the mood for love. So, how about we read a little romance together? Can I sing to you a little bit?
Savannah, slow down.
Okay, you're right. I already did that. Scratch that. Already saying to you, it's good enough, right? 10 out of 10. Excellent, superb, amazing. I know, you love me, you're dying. I wanted to start a reading vlog with you all and take down some of this TBR, but specifically I want to read some romance. The book that I want to read in this vlog is none other, let me set my microphone down. Real by Kennedy Ryan. I think there's a little glare going on. So, I want to read Real by Kennedy Ryan. I want to finally get into this. I can't wait. I'm excited. We've already talked about the synopsis in like the past 2 videos, so not gonna run that down again. This is a thick mama, so we're looking at almost 500 pages. So maybe we'll get 2 books in, maybe we won't. But for sure, we have to finish this one. If we can get this one, if we can get through this one in this vlog, I want to start, at the very least I want to start another one. So I also need to update my reading journal with my January reads. So that's also something that I would like to do in this vlog. And then we'll just see what else we can get ourselves into. But before I let you go, before we get into this, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. All right guys, let's get into the video. right, so check-in time. So I am currently, let's see, page 78, 79. You guys, I am loving this. Like by page like 34, 35, I don't know, like I felt the cheeks. I felt the little tingle back there that you get when you're like grinning. I felt it. At this point, we're into the story. They have already met. She's auditioned for his movie. So things are going well. But you guys, when he first sees her, she is performing in the she's performing in a play, right? So she's an understudy, but the principal actress is like on vacation or whatever, so the role is hers for like a week or whatever. His friend Monk is the person who actually knows Neva. So, his friend Monk's like, hey, there's this girl, she's hot shit, she's excellent, she's in this play, why don't you come with me to go see it? So he's like, okay, bet, whatever. So he goes to the play with Monk to see her perform, and I'm gonna tell my age here again. I've been telling my age here by my pop culture references, but have you seen the movie The Bodyguard? Has anybody seen the movie The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston and Kevin Costner? So there's a scene where Kevin Costner's he's in the guest house and it's late and he's watching this video of Whitney's character. She's a singer. She's a singer playing a singer, right? So anyway, he's watching her music video of I Want to Run to You or Run to You. And so in the movie The Bodyguard, he's watching this music video of her performing and he's so mesmerized and like he's locked in, right? And he's sitting in his chair and he just like starts moving towards, he sits up and he's just drawn towards the television, drawn towards her. And that's the same image, that's the same vibe that I got from Kanan when he was when he's watching Neva. Lord have mercy. Age. Don't get old, folks. But that's the same vibe that I got from Kanan when he's watching. Not me over here consistently saying this man's name wrong. His name is Cannon, like the camera. Cannon. Neva on stage, like it felt like he was drawn to her, like she was a magnet just pulling him in. So yeah, I'm having a good time. And I love this man for standing 10 toes down on what he believes. I love this man for standing 10 toes down for what he believes. He's trying to get funding for this movie and he's getting pushback from the folks that he's trying to get funding from. He wants Neva for this project, for this movie, and she's an unknown, and he's like, no, this is who I want for this role, and if you think that I need your freaking money, baby, I'm telling you that my people, my skin folk will help. I can get the funds, baby. There's just a lot of moments in here, just a lot of moments so far that are just shining the light on what it's like to be, a woman in the arts, a black person in the arts. Just the differoences. And yeah, I've already done some highlighting. We already got some notations going. And yes, just some nods to, black excellence. There's a scene where Neva's best friend is like, she says to her, this role has never been played by a black woman. Takira's smile fades and her look grows more intent. understudy or not, tonight's a big deal. Not just for you, but for the little girls out there who need to see us on stage. Tonight's not just your night, it's all of ours. And that just right there, representation matters, you know? So when people are like, you know, what does it matter? You know, the race and ethnicity of the characters in these books, that's what matters. Being able to see yourself within these characters in these books, in movies, in film, you know, to know, hey, you know, anything's possible for us. But, you know, a lot of little nuggets so far along those lines. But, and the way that this man already, like, he already, like, exalts her. And I'm not saying that, not worship, but the way that he already recognizes her greatness and her potential, and the way he is supporting that. He's like, girl, you've got this light within you. Like this, like you are this character for my movie. You have this light within you, and baby, I'm going to pull, you know, you've got this talent in you, and I'm going to pull every last bit of it out of you. So yeah, I'm having a good time with it so far. I'm loving it. And yeah, oh man, there's this one scene where one of his colleagues, you know, she's a black woman, and she kind of like checks him, and because he's coming at her like, you know, hey, I don't need your personal issues with your ex muddying my project. You know, we need to keep this professional, you know, or what does he say? Oh yeah, so she like calls him a mama's boy or whatever, and it's like dude, like your little glares and your little, you know, empty threats, they don't scare me. You know, you're mama's boy, and mama's boys don't bite. He's like, oh, I bite. Let this shit with Monk affect my movie. You'll feel it. And she's like, fair enough. And says Verity glances back to Neva, who has almost reached the car. Make sure you heed your own advice. Because at this point, she's caught him kind of like checking Neva out. And just like, you know, the passage before that, he's like watching her walk back to the car, and just the way he describes it, you know, describes her hair, you know, like, you know, blowing in the wind, and, you know, her body and stuff. I mean, you just imagine her like walking in slow motion. It's one of those scenes in a movie, and he checking her out, he feeling her. That's where I'm at so far, having a good time. Got a long way to go, but I am here for it. So, all right, just wanted to check in with you guys. We'll give a little update when we get a little further in. Hey there, friends. Coming back with a little update, and also to get a little reading in here. So, y'all, we got a snowstorm coming our way tomorrow. We are under a snowstorm warning for Tuesday, the whole day. It's supposed to snow like all day long, or at least the warning lasts from, you know, like the morning until the following day. Though they're only projecting us to get like 2 to 5 inches. Now they're saying that it's not going to be as bad as it was in January, and I think that has a lot to do with the temperature. It's not going to be as cold as it was, and on Wednesday it's literally supposed to like rain, so most of that's probably going to dissolve anyway. But it's just been so doom and gloom around here lately, and Today the sun is shining. It's not super warm, but it's also not super cold. So I got my drink on the camera. But I'm like, I needed this. I needed to come out. I needed some sun, some fresh air. Yeah. So here I am sitting at this little park area. There's some people playing tennis behind me. So, if they murder me, all the footage will be captured. But unfortunately, they'd also have access to my camera, so they could just completely delete it right after that. But, So I stopped at Dunkin' to get coffee. So, today they're doing free coffee at Starbucks. And I was gonna go get the free coffee, but I was like, it's so much further from my house. I'm like, do I really want to make that drive for a tall, and the line would probably be out the ass, and then there's no park over there. So, this wind is eating me alive right now. But we're gonna tough it out. So Starbucks is running this, not Starbucks. So Dunkin' is still running this promo for this $3 shaken espresso. But when I got to the window, the girl said my order wrong. So they're like, cool, don't worry about it, So they, they ring up the correct order, but this still doesn't, I don't know. This tastes kind of, I don't know. I'm going to drink it because I paid for it. And yeah, because that's how I was raised. You don't waste anything. Definitely can't afford to be wasting stuff in this economy. So I'm going to drink it. It tastes, I don't know. So we are still reading Real, and I am on chapter 15, and y'all, I'm having such a good time. I don't have any star predictions yet, but one of the things that I'm really loving is the little historical nuggets that she is giving us in this book. And I'm just like, my girl Kennedy does her freaking homework. You can tell that Kennedy Ryan does her homework on a subject. If it's a condition that a character has, she's done her homework on it. Not saying I'm an expert on it, so how could I really fact check her? But you can just tell. And speaking of illness, one of the characters in the story, she does have a chronic illness. So love that representation in here. But yeah, you can tell she's done her research on that. There are mentionings of, historic black plays, and there's a mention of Orson Welles in this. So Orson Welles has some ties to a play that's mentioned in this. So, and I'm one of those people when I watch movies, I'm like, oh God, I gotta look up, see where I know that actor from, what else do they play in? So almost instantly, I'm like, okay, well let me fact check. I want some more information. And yeah, like I said, she did her homework, so it was legit. Yeah, just getting those little nuggets of history and of Black history, stuff that's not taught to us in school, in grade school. And so it's nice. It's nice to get that, even if it's in a work of fiction. So yeah, so that is where we are. So I'm gonna dive in, like I said, try to get a little reading on it. It's cold out here. I'm getting the sniffles, and I just got here. But anyway, yeah. So let's get some reading done.
So don't you tell me I am selfish just because I look out for myself. I've been happy, working hard so I won't have to cry when I'm old. this or that. I remember when I used to. Don't do it 'cause it doesn't work. I'd rather tell her, shoot your shots. I did it, so I know you got this. We're all living, won't we manifest? You'll get your dreams, just do your best.
So I did not last long at the park yesterday, and y'all look rough. It's the morning hours. You know, I like this. You know, I like getting up and starting my day with reading, and I just recently kind of started doing that. So yes, shout out to Shaughnessy for that, you know, that recommendation. You know, she mentions that she gets up and like reads at like 5 in the morning. So I've been trying, I'm not, you know, I don't do it every morning, but I've been trying to get up and like do a little reading before I have to take my son to school and before I have to wake my daughter up for school. So anyway, so real. You guys, this is so good, and I'm on page 135. The fact that like parts of it are like this like historical, you know, historical fiction almost, you know, there are historical fiction aspects in this. Neva, you know, is our main character. Neva is starring in this film that is a biopic about a black singer, you know, in the 1920s, 1930s. And, you know, this is a fictitious singer, but a lot of the things that I mentioned, like the, you know, as far as like the time period, the culture back then, the arts, landmarks and things like that, those are all real. Like, you can tell Kennedy did her research. And so you also, we get to see this script. So so you have your chapters of Neva, you have your chapters in Kana's point of view, and then we also have these like in between, like we'll get to read the script. So there is this part of this in the script where our main character Desi, well, not our main character, where the character that Neva is playing, Desi is set to perform at this nightclub. Her and the band that she sings with, they have a gig. The trumpeter, who turns out to be, you know, I guess he's going to be Desi's husband, you know, whenever they get married. But anyway, he comes in there and he's like, hey, you know, this was like during the time of the race riots in the 30s. So he was like, hey, you know, there's a lot of tension going on because of those other riots, and the club owners are concerned that, they said, when the lights come up and they shine on you, you know, they're concerned that they're gonna see you and you're gonna look like a white woman on stage surrounded by a bunch of black men. And you all, you know, those of you who are true to yourselves, you know, and not in denial, you know that there is this history of, you know, white people being so afraid, you know, I'm not saying white people, let me say this, you know, racist white people, closed-minded white people, having this fear that the black man is just here to rape and devour the white woman, you know, like, oh, so the white woman is just so incredibly irresistible to the black man, you know. Anyway, so Cal brings this tin of grease paint, and he's like, hey, you know, I know what I'm asking of you, but for us to get paid, basically I need you to go out there in blackface. And Desi is so She's like, no. Like, you know, like we're up here in freaking, you know, we're up north. She's like, you know, when we play down south, I gotta shit in the freaking woods. I gotta pee in cups. You know, like I'm not allowed in places. I gotta, you know, they want me to dance a jig on stage for them, but I'm not even allowed to go fucking eat in a restaurant. I'm treated like a freaking animal. And she's like, we come up north and I'm thinking it's gonna be better for me playing in these places. But now you're telling me that I gotta go out here in blackface to dance a jig for these people up north now? You're telling me that I can't be myself, that I'm not good enough as I am? So he says, he's like, we gotta contract this. They won't pay us, and not only that, but they'll spread the word, maybe mess up bookings for the rest of this trip. It'll ruin things for all of us. And Desi says, but I'm the only one gotta wear it. Not you, not them. As in, you know, the rest of her, you know, the band. So Cal says, it ain't right, but what choice do we have? What choice do we ever have? That's just so, what choice do we ever have? It's so powerful right there. Choice is something that we just take for granted. You know, when people are like, check your privilege, check your white privilege. So it says, okay, so this is still in the script. It says, Desi wipes away a tear and nods. Cal squats down in front of her and gently smears on the grease paint. She stares at her darkened face in the mirror before standing and following Cal out. Spotlight, okay, so there's like spotlight on the band and Desi, who sings upbeat song in the dark makeup, forcing herself to smile. Like when she's in that dressing room and she looks at herself in the mirror, you can feel that. I mean, even just reading this as the script, like she's not even our main character, but just reading the script. You know, scripts take emotions and things out of it, right? But you can feel Desi's shame in that moment. You know, that shame, that anger, that pain, and that sense of defeat. Like, will I ever be good enough for these people? Like, I'm having to sell myself out. I'm having to make myself small for these people. I'm having to sell my soul so I can put food on my table, so I can feed myself. I'm having to change myself for them, you know? So you can just feel it in that moment. This is the scene that they are acting out. So then we have Neva's point of view, right? So this scene they've just finished that scene. So she says, okay, so at this point, like the scene cut, Neva books it, offset, you know, so it says, so she's ran off, she's back in her trailer. Even seated, my legs still shake, my hands tremble. I touch my face and my fingers come away streaked with paint, smeared with pain and degradation. In my right mind, I know this didn't actually happen to me. It was Desi's burden, not mine. I'm not in my right mind, though. I'm not in my mind at all. I'm in hers. And her outrage claws its way from the grave to burrow in my thoughts. Her humiliation lingers in my bones and cages my spirit. Y'all, secondhand trauma is real, you know? Secondhand trauma is so real. And it's so ironic that, you know, in the script, in the biopic, you know, they're telling the life of Desi, and Cal asked Desi to wear that grease paint for the sake of their performance, for the sake of their performance, so they can get paid. And then you have the film that they're filming, right, about Desi, about that, and you have this scene, and it's Kanan this time asking Neva to put on that grease paint, which you get the motivation and the intentions are different behind it, you know. Before it was, you know, Desi's wearing this grease paint basically for the white man so they can eat, whereas Kanan's asking her to wear the grease paint so the world can see what Desi went through you know, the experience of that. So, but at the same time, the results are the same. The feelings of shame and the degradation and the anger, the pain of it, it's still the same. So she's in the dressing room and Kanan comes in. The moment he comes in, I already knew, I was like, if this man cleans her face, I'm gonna fucking lose it. So he comes in, she instantly, she's crying again. She's losing it. And she's like, you know, she thinks he's there because he's upset that she ran off set. And, you know, she feels like, you know, she messed the scene up. And she's like, hey, you know, I can do this better. I can do better. You know, I promise I'll do better next time. And he tells her, this man has so much faith in her. I swear. He says, you can't do it better because it was perfect. You didn't lose control. You lost yourself. It's what you have to do in this kind of work. It demands it of you. You were stepping into shoes that walked a hard road. Prejudice, disrespect, heartbreak. That was all a part of Desi's life. Great actors inhabit the characters, sometimes so much that the line between fact and fiction, them and you, blurs, and you feel everything. That's what you're experiencing. Like, you were stepping into shoes that walked a hard road. Y'all. Just, wow, like, people know but they don't, you know? Okay, and then the moment that I knew it was coming. Using the tissue he plucked from my vanity, he gently wipes at the corners of my eyes, then at the heavy grease paint smeared on to darken my skin. With each swipe away of the offensive makeup, my breath comes easier. My heart settles into a more regular rhythm. Well, I just knew he was gonna clean her face. And I feel like that's just so symbolic. Like, basically, by cleaning her face, it's like, you know, it's like someone lifting a boulder off of a crushed victim. Like, he lifted that burden off of her. He took that burden off of her. You know, that grease paint was her burden. You know, it's what was crushing her. And he took that off of her. And then on the next page, he says, scenes like that cost you. Scenes like that cost you. And it just makes you wonder, you know, what did it cost Denzel? That scene in Glory, you know, when he's being whipped and you see that single tear, you know, trailing down his face. Like, what did it cost him? What did it cost Halle Berry in introducing Dorothy Dandridge? You know, all the things, the secondhand trauma that she experienced from stepping into that role. You know, what did it cost Omar Epps and Tyra Banks in the scene where, you know, the neo-Nazis are shooting up the campus and Tyra gets shot and he's holding her. Y'all, I'm telling you, I don't care what you say about Tyra Banks' acting skills, but when she freaking, like, wails out, you know, like, why? Like, why? Like, why? Like, why? Why is, you know, why am I laying here bleeding? Why, you know, why did this man shoot me? Why does the color of my skin offend these people so much? I don't care what y'all say about that, about her acting skills. When she freaking wailed like that, I lose it every time. Okay, and lastly, because I need to, like, take a break. But he mentions to her that he had talked to his other producer about bringing in a therapist. And I just wonder, I think he says it's something that he typically does, or he does often. Or no, he says, you know, that they should have done it from the beginning. It just kind of slipped his mind. But I just wondered, do directors and producers, do they do that? Especially for movies like this, with heavy themes and heavy topics, I wonder, do directors and producers actually do that? Because if not, that's freaking genius. You know, take care of your actors. That's what he says. You know, that's the most important thing, is taking care of his actors. And I just wonder, like Hollywood, are you guys taking care of your actors? Are you providing them some therapy on set? Are you checking in with them after they, you know, these films wrap? These, you know, these films, these series. So, if not, they need to. They really do. Whew. Having a good time. I am enjoying the movie, the movie within the movie, the book within the book. Yes, Kennedy, oh my gosh. Like, give this woman all her freaking flowers, because this is so good. All right, I think I need a little break because that's a little heavy moment there. So maybe it's a little break. But anyway, having a good time. It may take me a little break. Y'all, it's snowing again. It's snowing again. This is not a smile. This is a grimace. It's snowing again, and I don't know why.
I see that smile in those beautiful brown eyes, girl. I hear your voice, it whispers in the dark. Yeah. You make story, and you've taken me so far. I'd cross the ocean for you. I'd dive into the deepest sea. My soul is sold out for you. I'd give you everything that you need. And give me just one chance. And baby, take my hand. My heart's in motion for you. I'd cross the ocean for you. Yeah, I heard him say that all good things fade away, but I'm fighting here to make sure that's not true.
You guys, this book was phenomenal. This book is phenomenal. Another 5-star read from the wonderful, the amazing Kennedy Ryan. Another 5-star read. I say it after pretty much every book that I read by Kennedy Ryan. This is so much more than a love story. This is a love story. This is a tribute to Black women, to Black people. This is, I mean, I'm almost speechless. Not almost, because clearly I'm struggling here for the words. But this book was so amazing. But digging in, okay, so let's dig into the meat and potatoes of this. So first of all, let me put some respect on this man's name. His name is Cannon. Let me apologize to Cannon and his mama because throughout this entire video, I have been saying his name wrong. It is Cannon, and it's really cool because his mom was a world-renowned photographer, and she named him after a camera. So there you go. Neva has had a passion for acting since she was in high school. So in her senior year of high school, her and her family have a falling out. Something pretty significant happens, and it drives a wedge between her and her family. So Neva goes off to college, and then after college, she moves to New York to further pursue her acting career. She's now she's now 30. So, her and her family have had this rift for, 12, 13 years at this point. So she doesn't have a very good relationship with her family, but, she's kind of made her own family. She has this best friend, and basically that's her family now, right? So she's working in New York, she's on, working as an actress, and she's in this play, but she's an understudy. So the principal actress goes on vacation, has something she has to do, and there's Neva to, step in and fulfill that role. So, okay, so that's Neva. That's her main character, right? So then on the flip side, we have our main male character, Cannon, right? So Cannon's he's a movie director. He is getting ready to start filming a biopic about a Black singer from the 20s and 30s, all right, who didn't get her just due, so he wants to bring her story to life. He wants to bring her story to the masses, right? So one night, his friend Monk, who's like a musician, he scores, movies and whatnot. He's like, hey, I'm going to check out this, girl and this play. She's badass. Do you want to roll with me? So Cannon's like, okay, sure. So they go to Neva's performance, and Cannon is blown away by her performance, just utterly blown away. He already knows in his mind, like, she's the one for this role. Like, this is my Desi. That's the name of the famous singer that, you know, his movie's about. Or not, she's not famous. But Cannon and Neva's love story is just a beautiful love story. This felt like a Hollywood romance. It really did. Like, it felt like a cinematic romance. You felt like you were swept up in it, swept up in their passion for each other. It felt like that to me. Like, I was reading, I'm like, this is like a whirlwind romance. Like, this is, and I, you know, I don't know if that's intentional of her, because I mean, it's, you know, a book about, you know, a movie director and an actress. And one of the tropes that, you know, people talk about is that, you know, this is a forbidden romance because, you know, he's a director and she's an actress. So, you know, he's in the position of authority or the position of power. And, you know, she's an actress. What I love about Cannon in this is that, for one, he's not using that his position of power to, you know, get the ladies. I love that he recognizes how this would look to someone on the outside. You know, him being a director. But he's not worried about himself. Like, he's not worried about what this would do to him, because he recognizes that him being the director and him being a man, this relationship is not going to, this relationship, you know, if it's a relationship, but this relationship, it's not going to reflect poorly on him the way it will on her. So, like, in the beginning, you like my Valentine's Day present? As far as pursuing, Neva's the one. Neva's in the driver's seat, right? Like, they both were attracted to each other, but he was doing everything he could to not go there. You know, like I said, he recognized, hey, you know, I'm the director. If this goes badly for anybody, it's gonna go badly for her. And he didn't want that for her. You know, he recognized that, hey, she is just starting out. This woman is talented. And he didn't want, you know, the paparazzi. He didn't want, you know, those outside influences seeing their situation and basically, you know, discrediting her or underestimating her capabilities, you know, and her talent. He didn't want them to besmirch her. You know, like, oh, well, look, you know, just another actress trying to sleep her way to the top. You know, that's what he wanted to avoid, because he knew, hey, this woman's going places. This is her first big break, and he didn't want to be the reason that, you know, Hollywood basically sneered at her. So I love that about him. I love that he was so, like, protective of her in that sense. But it was so cute the way they were, like, you know, they weren't, you know, they didn't want people to know on set. So, you know, he did everything he could to kind of ignore her. But then they'd have these little moments where they might, like, he might pull her to the side, you know, like in one of the little, you know, fake alleyways on the movie set or whatever. And they might have like a little moment between each other. This novel, like so many of Kennedy Ryan's novels, is about much more than just a love story. You know, we get a history lesson in here. And it just demonstrates how much of our history is unknown, how much of our history is buried, how much of it is, you know, kept from us and hidden. And there was a line, and I don't know if it was in this book or if it's in another book, about the truth and history. This book is just, it's about the history of Black people in America that's often overshadowed or overlooked. Our talent, our contributions to this to this country, our experiences, our struggles, our triumphs, and how they're often, you know, forgotten to time and just never known to us, you know, just minimized. You know, we're often a footnote in history. You know, Alexander Graham Bell and telephone. The end of the lesson, you know. This book just kind of shines a light on so much. I found that, you know, the facts, the information, you know, I found it eye-opening. I found it, you know, exciting. Who knew, you know, you'd get a history lesson in a romance novel, and it works, you know. I think she does a great job of showing how women, especially Black women, how we have this hyper independence, this need to always be strong and to always take care of everybody, you know. So like I said, there has been this conflict between Neva and her family that has gone on a long, you know, over a decade. You know, she mentions at one point that she's always trying to shield her mom, you know, from things, from you know, the pain and whatever that she's going through. Like, there's things in her life about her health and things that she hasn't shared with her mom because she didn't want to burden her mom with those things. She's just like, you know, why do I do this? Like, why do I hide these things from her? Yeah, I'm like, I totally identify with that. For one, you know, I get it. I feel like she does it because, you know, when she's needed her mom in the past, her mom hasn't been there. How can you let me down if I never expect anything from you? You also see her pain at times because, you know, a girl needs her mom, right? A girl needs her mom, a girl needs her dad, but, you know, we need our mamas. And because of the family drama, you know, her relationship with her mom has been impacted. Her issue with her family, like, really, her family conflict really pissed me off. So the issue was between her and her sister, and because of the conflict between her and her sister, you know, she stayed away for over a decade. So she's missed out on so much with her family because of this issue with her sister. And even after like 10 plus years, her sister gaslights her, takes no accountability, you know, for her actions, but it's basically like, well, oh God, that was like over 10 years ago, you gotta let this go. And, you know, excuse me, bitch, excuse me. And it's just terrible. Not saying that sorry would like fix it or make it better, but for you to at least take some responsibility and accountability for your actions, I'm pretty sure that would have went a long way with this woman. You know, I'm pretty sure it would have went a long way. The chronic illness representation, I think that she addressed this really well. So Neva has a chronic illness, and we get to see, you know, what that is like for her. We get to see the effect and the impact that has on, you know, her life, her relationships. I love that there's like no freaking third act breakup. You know, and the main conflict is not between them, it's external forces, you know, society, and then her family and her illness. You know, it's not them. The problem's not them, it's the outside world. But y'all, she hid her illness from him, and I get it. You know, for one, you know, she didn't know how serious they were. For two, she didn't want her illness to be held against her. And that's, you know, it's sad that's kind of where, you know, that's kind of how our society is. You know, you see someone with an illness, you know, whether it's a physical illness or a mental health illness, society instantly thinks that, you know, either, you know, these people, the person needs to be coddled, or they think that they're, you know, they're incapable, you know. But there's all, you know, there's become questions about their ability. I get, you know, her not wanting to disclose that. You know, she doesn't want her illness to, she doesn't want to be seen as the girl with, you know, with the illness. But I love that he, especially once he finds out about the illness, he's like, fuck this movie. Like, I care about you. I don't care about anything else. Like, you're the priority. Okay? Like, yes, there's a movie that needs to be made, but you know what? That's why I have my, you know, I have my business partners. That's why I have all these other people, other producers and things like that. They can pick up this slack because I can't be objective right now. Like, you are my priority. And he was like her number one advocate through this whole book, and I love that about him. Love that. From the jump, he wanted her from this movie. From the jump, he had her back on everything. I mean, who doesn't want to be, like, loved and supported like that? I mean, even before he realized that he loved her, I mean, he had her back. And yes, baby, there's spice in it. Okay, let me just say, okay. And my girl Neva, listen, honey, she wanted that man, and she was not like, okay, she didn't come to play. Okay, she let him know off top what she wanted, and she wasn't afraid of any backlash or anything like that. Like, I want you. I don't care what other people think. I don't care what they say. I want you. Yeah, has anyone read this? Let me know down in the comments. Let's talk about it without giving away any spoilers for anyone who hasn't. Y'all, look, I creased the corner there and like broke my own heart. Don't look at my ratchet nails. But yeah, look at that. I creased the corner. All right, well, that is all that I have for you all for this vlog. So what are you reading right now? Let me know down in the comments. All right, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And until the next one, friends, bye.